It's 3 a.m. You are warm. You are safe. Nothing in this room can hurt you. So why are you wide awake, reliving the single most humiliating thing you have ever done? You know the one. The thing you said at the party. The name you forgot mid-sentence. The joke that landed in total silence. It happened years ago. Everyone else forgot it by the next morning. But your brain just reached into storage, pulled it out, and played it back in full colour. And here is the strangest part. You didn't choose this. You weren't even thinking about it. You were trying to sleep. The memory arrived on its own, uninvited, like it had been waiting in the dark for exactly this moment. It feels like a malfunction. It is not. What is happening to you right now is one of the most sophisticated things your brain does. And once you understand why it does it, 3 a.m. will never feel the same. Let's start with the timing. Why now? Why this hour when the rest of the world is asleep? During the day, your attention points outward. You have tasks. You have people to answer. You have 100 small fires to put out, and every one of them pulls your focus away from yourself. Your mind is busy being useful. But at night, all of that goes quiet. The fires are out. No one needs anything from you. And for the first time in 16 hours, your brain has nothing external to hold on to. So it turns inward. Neuroscientists have a name for the system that switches on in that moment. They call it the default mode network. It was mapped in detail by a researcher named Marcus Raichle, who noticed something odd. There was a set of brain regions that became more active when people were doing nothing at all. Not less active, more. This is the network of the wandering mind. It runs when you are not focused on the outside world. It is the part of you that thinks about yourself, that rehearses conversations, that revisits the past and imagines the future. It is, in a very real sense, the voice in your head. And the moment you stop giving your brain a job to do, that voice gets the microphone. So at 3 a.m, with the lights off and the world silent, the default mode network finally has the room to itself. The question is not why your mind wanders to that memory. The question is what it is trying to do with it. And the answer is that it is not torturing you. It is filing. Here we need to talk about a discovery made almost 100 years ago by a Soviet psychologist named Bluma Zyganik. She was sitting in a cafe watching the waiters, and she noticed something remarkable. The waiters could remember complicated orders perfectly, table after table, with no notes at all. But the instant the bill was paid, the memory vanished. Ask them about a table from 10 minutes ago, a table that had already settled up, and they had no idea. What Zyganik realised is now one of the most reliable findings in psychology. Your mind holds on to unfinished business. A task that is complete gets released. A task that is left open stays active, humming quietly in the background, demanding to be closed. She had found something that explains your 3 a.m. mind exactly. Because that humiliating memory is not finished. It was never finished. Think about what an embarrassing moment actually is. It is a social wound that never got stitched. You said the wrong thing, and then the conversation moved on. No one corrected you. No one reassured you. No one told you it was fine. The moment simply ended, and you walked away carrying an open question your brain could not answer. Did they judge me? Did it cost me something? Am I safe with these people now? Your brain hates an open question like that. So it keeps the file open. It keeps it accessible. And in the quiet of the night, when nothing else is competing for attention, it lifts that file to the top of the pile and asks you, one more time, to please go in and resolve it. But you can't resolve it. That is the cruel part. The moment is gone. The people have moved on. There is no action you can take at 3 a.m. that will close the loop. So the loop just runs, and runs, and runs. This is the difference between thinking and ruminating. The psychologist Susan Nolan Huxamer spent her career studying this exact pattern. She defined rumination as the act of repetitively turning a negative experience over in your mind without ever moving toward a solution. It feels like problem solving. It is dressed up as problem solving, but it produces nothing. You are not analysing the memory, you are circling it. And the more you circle, the deeper the groove gets. Now you might be wondering something. Out of all the thousands of moments in your life, why does your brain reach for the worst ones? Why not replay the time you were brilliant, the time everyone laughed with you, not at you? The answer is older than you are. It is older than your parents, older than language, older than the idea of a party. It is written into the basic operating system of every human alive. Your brain has a bias. It treats bad events as more important than good ones. A team of researchers led by Roy Baumeister called this principle "bad is stronger than good." A single criticism outweighs a dozen compliments. One betrayal can erase years of trust. A near disaster burns itself into memory, while 1,000 ordinary safe days leave no trace at all. And from your brain's point of view, this is not a flaw, it is the smartest strategy it has. Picture your ancestors, not in a city, on a plain, in a small group 100,000 years ago. For them, the worst social mistake was not embarrassing, it was lethal. To be mocked, to be shamed, to be seen as foolish or untrustworthy by the group was to risk being pushed to the edge of it. And the edge of the group, in that world, meant the edge of survival. Alone, you did not last the winter. So a brain evolved that took social pain seriously, deadly seriously. A brain that, when you made a mistake in front of others, flooded you with a feeling so sharp you would do almost anything to avoid feeling it again. We have a word for that feeling. We call it embarrassment. We call it shame. It is not noise, it is a teacher. It is the ancient mechanism that studies your social errors and burns them in deep, so that you learn the rules of the group and never, ever break them the same way twice. Which means the memory replaying in your mind right now is not your enemy. It is your oldest survival system, still on duty, still trying to protect you from a danger that, in the modern world, no longer exists. That is the twist. The system works perfectly. The world just changed underneath it. Your ancestor who replayed a social mistake actually gained something. Tomorrow they would face the same small group, the same faces, the same stakes, and the lesson would matter. The replay was rehearsal for a real future. But you do not live in that world. The person you embarrassed yourself in front of 9 years ago is a stranger now. Or they barely remember. Or they were never thinking about you to begin with, because they were busy replaying their own 3 a.m. memory, the one you have completely forgotten you were even present for. This is the quiet truth underneath all of it. Everyone is haunted by their own private highlight reel of shame, and almost no one is in anyone else's. The moment that defines your worst nights is, for everyone who witnessed it, a moment that never happened. So what do you do with that? Not the things that don't work. You do not argue with the memory, because the default mode network does not respond to logic at 3 a.m. You do not try to force it out, because suppression only sharpens it, like trying not to think of a white bear. You do not lie there and circle, because circling is the rumination that digs the groove deeper. What actually works is small and almost boring. You give the unfinished task a finish. You take the open loop and you close it, even artificially. You can write the memory down, on paper, which signals to the filing system that it has been recorded and can be released. You can give your wandering mind a quiet external thing to hold. A podcast, a boring book, anything that gently pulls attention back outward and switches the default mode network off. And you can do the one thing your ancestor could not. You can decide, consciously, that the lesson has been learned, that the file can be closed, that you are not on the edge of the group, and you never were. Because here is what your brain is really asking every time it hands you that memory in the dark. It is not asking you to suffer. It is asking you a question. Are we safe? Are we still accepted? Did we survive it? And you already know the answer. You did survive it. You are here. You are warm. You are safe. The group did not cast you out. The winter did not come. So tonight, when it is 3 a.m. and nothing in the room can hurt you, and the memory arrives anyway, uninvited, out of the dark, you will not mistake it for a malfunction. You will recognize it for what it is, not your mind breaking, your mind doing the exact thing that kept your ancestors alive. The shame was never the wound. The shame was always the brain trying to heal it.